Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down something pretty important in the Enhanced Middle Years program. Its updated take on community engagement. It's all about making learning way more consistent, flexible, and honestly, just deeply connected to the world we actually live in.
Okay, so here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll get a solid definition of what this new approach to community engagement actually is. Then, we'll get into the why, why it matters so much. After that, we'll unpack the three big principles that guide everything. And finally, we'll see how it all looks in a real classroom setting.
All right, first things first. When we talk about community engagement in the Enhanced MYP, what are we really talking about? Well, it's been refined with a much bigger focus on learning by doing.
And this is a really crucial point, a key shift in the Enhanced MYP. This isn't just about, volunteering for a few hours or doing a little side project. No, it's a super powerful form of learning. We're talking about students taking what they learned in, say, a science class or a history class and using it to tackle real-world challenges and opportunities right there in their own communities.
This totally shifts the whole perspective, right? A student isn't just a volunteer who pops in for a day. They become an active, caring partner in the community, using their actual skills and knowledge to make a real, tangible difference, working with community members. Okay, so that's what it is. But what's the end game here? How does all this build towards a bigger purpose? Well, that brings us to the why, the ultimate goal of structuring community engagement this way. And really, it all boils down to student development.
And it all comes down to this one core concept: principled action. The goal is to empower students to make responsible, ethical choices, and not just in their local neighborhood, but across all those interconnected global communities that we're all a part of.
So what are the tangible results for students? Well, they learn to see the bigger picture, to really communicate and build relationships. They start thinking critically about their own point of view. And of course, they learn how to take that principled action we just mentioned. These are skills for life, not just for school.
And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? It shows the direct line from these community experiences right to the heart of the IB mission itself. This isn't some add-on or extracurricular activity. It's a direct expression of the program's deepest values.
Okay, so the big question is, how do we make sure this engagement is actually meaningful, and not just another box-ticking exercise? Well, the Enhanced MYP gives us a really clear and powerful framework for that.
Yeah, this new framework is built on a solid foundation of three core principles of engagement.
So you've got dialogue, relationship building, and reflection and reflexivity. Think of these as the three pillars that hold up every single community engagement experience. They're like a compass for both students and teachers, making sure students aren't just, doing something, but that they're actively listening, connecting, and really learning while they do it.
So let's break these down. First up, dialogue. This is all about communicating respectfully and equitably. It pushes students to think, hey, it's not just about what I have to say, it's about who else needs to be in this conversation. Who should we be listening to right from the get-go?
Next is relationship building. And this goes way beyond just, a simple interaction. It's about creating real, authentic, collaborative relationships that are built on compassion and a shared goal. And this is key. It's about working with a community, not just doing something for them.
And finally, number 3, reflection and reflexivity. This one asks students to look inward. It's about building that self-awareness and social awareness, asking those tough questions like, wait, why do I see the world this way? How does my own background shape my views? And then, crucially, thinking about how that personal viewpoint impacts the community they're engaging with.
Okay, that's the theory, which is great. But what about the practical side? How does this actually look inside a school? How do you take these big, powerful ideas and actually make them work in a classroom unit?
The magic word here is flexibility. There's no minimum number of units you have to do. This gives teachers the freedom to genuinely weave community engagement into the curriculum they're already teaching. So maybe it's a science class studying local ecosystems, or a language class partnering with local storytellers. The possibilities are huge.
So in this model, teachers really become facilitators. And notice that very first step, it's about finding opportunities with the community. That's so important. It's a partnership right from the start. From there, the teacher helps select the guiding principles that fit best and make sure everything lines up with the learning goals of the unit.
And one of the biggest wins of this new structure, it massively boosts student agency. When students are involved in the whole process, from the first question to the final action, they get a much deeper sense of their own responsibilities, both personal and shared.
It empowers them to really take ownership of their own learning.
So when you boil it all down, the framework is just super adaptable. It can be shaped to fit any school's unique situation. It can be for individual students or whole groups. It can be a week-long thing or a semester-long project. The bottom line is always the same: inspire students to build real relationships with their community using what they're learning in the classroom.
And hey, for any educators listening who want to get into the nitty-gritty of how this works, the IB has put together a really detailed FAQ list. You can find it on the Program Resource Center, and it's there to support schools taking part in the Enhanced MYP beta trial.
So what's the big takeaway here? It's this. By intentionally connecting what happens in the classroom with principled action out in the world, the Enhanced MYP does more than just teach subjects. It helps develop caring, engaged, and responsible citizens. And that leaves us with one last powerful thought to chew on. How can just one project change a student's relationship with their community forever?